Hello, everybody, and welcome to Psychic Cafe. Grab your coffee or tea, pull up a chair. Let's hang out. That's right. It's Sunday, February 1st. I can't believe we're already in February. This is crazy. I'm kind of flying solo today. You just got me. Yep. I see Maria in the chat. Hi, Maria. And we're going to do the card of the day first. Let's go right into that. Before I do that, I've got a PDF for you. Yeah. So let me copy and paste that in the chat here. Let's see. There we go. So it's one of those tiny URLs. So tinyurl.com/message 02012026. And I have a whole PDF for you. On the card of the day, I got the Ten of Wands, and this is actually the card of the month. We we are transitioning from January into February, and I got the Ten of Wands. Yes. So as we cross the threshold from January to February 2026, the Ten of Wands appears as a powerful mirror for your current energy. Many of you are carrying a full bundle, ambitions, resolutions, responsibilities that feel or felt inspiring weeks ago, but now they kind of feel like a heavy trek up a steep hill. So this card acknowledges your incredible strength and work ethic, but it serves as a gentle cosmic check-in. You are nearing the finishing line of a grueling cycle, yet your vision is obscure because you're looking at the ground instead of the horizon, which you can actually see that in the card. As the seasons shift, the message is clear. Success is not measured by how much you can endure alone, but by how effectively you can delegate or set down what no longer belongs to you, or I would say no longer serves you. Honor the hustle that got you here, but don't let the harvest become a burden. So, key takeaways for February. First, release the shoulds. Identify one task you're doing out of obligation rather than necessity. And then eyes up. Lift your gaze from the grind, to remember why you started this journey. And then the final stretch. You're closer to the goal than you think. Don't quit. Just lighten the load a bit. So then I pulled a clarifier card and I got the star card to help you navigate the Ten of Wands pressure here. The shift is from a burden to a blessing. So if the Ten of Wands is the heavy climb, the star is the cool, refreshing stream at the top of the mountain. It suggests that the light at the end of the tunnel isn't just a metaphor, it's a literal restoration of your spirit. In February, the universe is asking you to trade force for flow. While January was about doing, February is about being and healing. This card brings a sense of peace, renewed hope, and the realization that when you drop the unnecessary baggage, you actually float higher. So, how to use this energy? First, practice vulnerability over velocity. When you're overwhelmed, the star thrives on authenticity. Hydrate and regroup, literally and figuratively. Focus on self-care rituals that make you feel like you again. And so, yeah, are you drinking enough water? Trust the timing. The star is a cosmic yes. Even if things feel heavy now, the path ahead is being illuminated. So there you go. Card of the day and card of the week. And then we've got a great topic for you today: how to pitch yourself for podcasts and guest blogs. Basically, get you and your business out there for 2026 and leverage other people's followings and audiences. Yeah, that's what you should be thinking of here in the beginning of 2026. I did make a PDF on this also. another tinyurl.com. So it's tinyurl.com/pitching PDF, all lowercase. Otherwise, it won't work. It's case sensitive, all lowercase. tinyurl.com/pitching PDF. Let me grab that URL. tinyurl.com/pitching PDF. I'm going to put that in the chat for everybody to grab so you can follow along. Yes, follow along here on the topic. So before we do that, first of all, you can grab us a cup of coffee at tarotbiz.com/coffee. That's kind of our tip jar if you just want to send us some love, or you can also use it to jump the line. Yeah. If you buy us a cup of coffee at tarotbiz.com/coffee, let us know in the chat. We'll jump right to your question first before everybody else's. Yep. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. By the way, we have like 900 something videos. It's been a while since I've looked. Let me bring that up real quick. Our channel has 924 videos, 793 subscribers, almost 800. We only need 207 more subscribers. And I don't know what our watch is now. I think we were nearing 3,000. We need 4,000 watch hours. So watch some of those 924 videos. There's actually playlists with interviews and learning tarot workshops, all kinds of things to check out. Let's see, what else was I going to say real quick? Our main website, www.tarotbiz.com. And if you want to grab a reading from me or any of the folks here on the channel, we're all on the reading page, tarotbiz.com/readings. And if you're a professional reader, you can join the guild and get certified, and you can get on the psychic advisors page as well. That's right. Let's see. And here's our new school community. This is our private members only community for members of the Tarot Guild. As you can see there, it's just $5 to join right now during the beginning of the year sale, we'll call it. I was calling it New Year's sale, but it's February 1st already. We're kind of past that. There's different levels you can join at, but the $5 a month one gets you just about everything, and you can get things a la carte and so forth like that. So go check that out. Ooh, looks like Charlotte's coming on. And Bill, there's Bill. Hey, Bill. Where's Charlotte, though? I saw her a second ago. Bill just got onto the new community. It's fantastic. There's like so much stuff on there. You can do private messaging chats with people. And we've got our community page where you can post and like each other's posts and comment on each other's posts. We have the classroom, which has my course, all of our workshops, and also a lot of technical assistance, whether you need a website or a page on our Tarot Biz website, help with your social media, you name it. It's all there on our new school community. And if you go to tarotbiz.com, just click join, and it's going to take you over actually to the Tarot Biz community where you can click that yellow join, $5 a month. Yep. Awesome. Hey, Charlotte, how you been?
I've been, just
here she
hanging
is.
out.
I know.
Yeah.
I see in the chat all the time, but I'm glad we got you up here on the Zoom.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'd make, at least one appearance this year.
Yeah. I had a feeling too, because oh God, what was it? It was one of the posts. I think it might have been actually on the Tarot Biz community, and I saw you pop in or something. And I said, "Oh, there's Charlotte." And then I thought, "Oh, we got to get Charlotte on a show." And boom, there you are. How you been, Bill?
Good.
Power of manifestation.
Yes, I totally manifested that. Do you have enough off spill? I mean, look at all that.
Say again?
What?
You have enough
Oh,
bookshelves. You've got.
no, you don't. You have to be here to appreciate it.
Mm, wow. So yeah, Bill's been a member for, I don't know,
Oh, wow.
dirt was being invented, something like that, something like that. Anyway, we just did the card of the day. Actually, it's the card of the month because got the 10 of wands. A lot of people are feeling overburdened right about now. How many of you are actually doing your New Year's resolutions? People drop off by about this time. So yeah, getting the star card and the 10 of wands was really good. Be sure you guys grab the PDF for that. It's in the chat. And let's see. Oh, Pam popped in the chat. Hey Pam, how you doing? Pamela Steele, certified tarot grandmaster. Yes. Yo Dax, I didn't make it downstairs. Do you need a co-host? I can find my webcam. Be there in 5 minutes. I'm gonna say yes. Uh, come on the show, Pamela. I'll type that in there.
I still have her original decks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, join Bill and Charlotte and me. I'm gonna type that in. Join Bill and Charlotte and I. There we go. Yeah, be great if she pops on. Um, she was a little bit running a little late there, and it's like, yeah, I always need a co-host. Even if I have co-hosts up here, I hope for more because it's more fun. One of these days, what I want to do, Charlotte, you and Bill would remember this. Remember the intro to like the Brady Bunch,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Hollywood Squares, and you
Yeah.
got
Now you're dating us. That's not a
yeah,
good thing.
1960s. Anyway, or
Some
Hollywood
iconic.
Squares.
I mean, really. I mean, not Hollywood Squares, but the Brady Bunch thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of iconic. I mean, it's
Hmm.
timeless.
Yeah. Well, Hollywood Squares is too. I mean, that ran into the, 80s and 90s. I mean, they had different versions of it and stuff. I remember, of course, the 1970s stuff. Shh, don't
Yeah,
tell.
with Paul Lynn always in the center square.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Is he still
That
alive?
Lynn
guy
was
was
hilarious.
that
Oh,
guy was funny.
oh yeah, I loved him on Bewitched when he was on
Yeah.
Bewitched. And, yeah. Oh, I just found some crud on my computer here, which I'm trying to get off here. But yeah, I always wanted to do that where we get like 9 of us, so we fill up the squares.
That would be so chaotic. Holy smokes.
I know who talks next.
Well, or everyone just talks over everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So on,
that's a general problem with Zoom.
yeah, definitely. Of course, a lot of these Zooms, there's lots of people, and the host will, mute everybody. I mean, just bring people on one at a time. That's the way to do it. So today we're talking about how to pitch yourself for podcasts and guest blogs. And that's because for 2026, we need to get your name and business out there. And so let's leverage other people's audiences, right? And their followings for 2026, especially if you're, a brand new tarot reader, you need a little leverage there, you know. So I'm going to see if I'm going to bring up my PDF for this. Everybody get their PDF ready. I put the link in the chat. There's Pam. Hey, Pam.
Hey guys.
We're talking guest blogs and podcasts. Get yourself booked there. It's tinyurl.com/pitching PDF. And you can pull up this PDF, and I'm going to share that if I can find the share button because they keep moving it around. Let's see. There we go. We got it. We got it. Let's see if I can grab this, move it over a little bit here. How to pitch yourself for podcasts and guest blogs. So the first thing is it depends on what blog or what podcasts, and when I say podcasts, I'm talking YouTube shows, I'm talking video and audio, I'm talking audio only. There's all kinds of podcasts out there these days. So it's all the above. And most of what I'm going to talk about here, I'm aiming it mostly at podcasts, but most of it is also true for getting yourself booked on a blog. What do I mean about that? Well, there's blogs, and you can become a guest blogger on there, write an article and get it posted on their blog. And that way you get in front of their audience. So similar to podcast. And, it depends on the type, is it a business podcast, a wellness podcast? Is it a tarot podcast, a psychic podcast? Because if you're going for more mainstream stuff, those podcasters, they don't care that you read cards. They care about what those cards can solve for their audience. So instead of selling tarot, pitch themes, not tools. So for instance, business podcast, how to use intuition to beat burnout and make better CEO level decisions. For a wellness blog, it might be something like the psychology of archetypes, using tarot as a mirror for mental health. Or for relationship shows, red flags and soul ties, navigating the dating world with intuitive boundaries. So come up with a bunch of ideas for themes. Use ChatGPT, Gemini, other AIs, because it really works. Yes, just type in a prompt, exactly what you're looking for, tell them what you want, what the themes are for, and oh my God, you'll get some fantastic ideas. I get stuff all the time. Sometimes I use ChatGPT, but I mostly use Gemini, and I get stuff that, oh, I would never have thought of that, you know? So it's a really great tool to start using in 2026 if you're not already doing that. So here's some more tips. The listen first rule: don't spam podcasts and blogs. Before reaching out, you should do a few things. One is listen to at least a couple episodes. Okay, familiarize yourself with the podcast. So don't just get a list of 150, 200 podcasts and send out the same cookie cutter introductory letter or email and just spam it out to everybody. Try to get specific. Remember, people respond to their own name, the name of their podcast, things that have happened in their podcast. So the second one here, mention a specific moment or quote from the show in the first paragraph of the pitch. And I do have a pitch example later on this PDF. And you want to get specific. You want to, use their name a lot, use their podcast name. Not so much about you, but how can you help them have great shows, right? And explain exactly why their tarot perspective, what your tarot perspective adds a missing layer to a previous conversation that the host had on one of the podcasts. That'll really ingrain you with them, show you that, you're really interested, you're paying attention, you've listened to some of their shows and so forth like that. Another thing you want to do is create a digital media kit. We should all have a media kit. So tarot reader's vibe is visual. Yes, the cards. You should have a single PDF that you can send people, or a link like Linktree, or a page on our website, Tarot Biz. As a member, I mentioned earlier in the show, you can become a member, $5 a month. And guess what? You get your own page on tarotbiz.com. Looks very professional. It's customizable. We can make it exactly how you want it to look. And here's things you should have on there: a professional headshot, high resolution, looking friendly and approachable. None of those grim stares, and try to have good lighting. Yes, you don't have to hire a photographer. Our cameras, on our phones nowadays are more resolution than you need. Just have somebody take a quality photo, maybe stand in front of an outdoor scene, or maybe a blank white wall, or colored wall, but blank. And that way, the podcast people, they can take the background out. They can put you on their banners the way they want to do it and stuff like that. So do a professional headshot, a short bio, focus on their why and their experience. Sample interview topics. Have 3 to 5 ready to go segment ideas for the people that you're my mind just blanked. That you're pitching. That's the word, is pitching. Yes. The live reading upsell. So tarot is inherently performative and engaging. Offer a mini reading segment at the end of their episode. It's a great way for the host to provide a gift to their audience and keeps listeners tuned in until the very end. And here's some angle ideas. So the myth buster. So the pitch focus on that is everything people get wrong about the death card, for example, and that's best for like general interest. Skeptic shows, don't be afraid to get yourself on a skeptic show. The practical intuitive, how to use tarot for daily productivity. So that's best for like a business blog or a business podcast, lifestyle blogs. And then the seasonal guide, and it's coming up, the spring equinox already, what the spring equinox means for your career. So like astrology and spiritual podcasts. And then I've included in here a plug and play template designed to get a yes. Okay. And you can just fill in all the information here. You can just copy and paste this out of the PDF onto a new document and fill it all in, and then, paste it in emails and send it off to people. Remember, show name, and mention here in the very first paragraph, we're mentioning a previous guest. We're mentioning a specific topic. We're mentioning one specific detail you liked in one of the shows that you watched. So you can check that in your downloadable PDF. 3 tips for getting booked. The subject line is 80% of the work. Advise your viewers to keep it punchy. If you're pitching a business podcast, use how to use intuition to scale your revenue as an example. So see how we're selling the theme. We're not selling the tarot. Okay. Address the woo factor. If the podcast isn't spiritual, use something like words like archetypes and mindfulness tools and subconscious mapping instead of words like psychic and magic. So that makes mainstream hosts feel safer. And then follow up. If you don't hear back in 7 days, and I'm suggesting, shoot for like pitching 5 blogs and or podcasts a week. And if you don't hear back in 7 days, do a little friendly bump email. Most bookings happen on the follow-up. And now that plug and play here that I did for email, some of you might be doing social media DMing these podcasts. So since DMs are more informal, the goal is to be brief, bold, and high energy. A wall of text in an Instagram or TikTok box usually gets ignored. Here are 3 different scripts your viewers can use depending on the vibe. So we got scripts here: short and punchy, community connection, value first script. Again, they're plug and play here. Golden rules for DMs. Audit your profile first. Before hitting send, make sure your bio clearly says tarot reader for whatever your niche is. And your recent posts, make sure they look professional. If you have a lot of different stuff pictures of your cat and dogs and everything like that on your Instagram, it's okay. But what you'd want to do is see how many show, like usually about like 9 or something, you know, put in some new posts to push those down. So the first things they see are very professional looking. Okay, that's the hint. And don't link dump. So never send a link to your website or a bunch of social media links in the very first message when you're doing a DM on social media. It triggers spam filters and looks like a bot. Wait for them to say, sure, send info, and then send that kind of stuff. And the double tap strategy, like and comment on their most recent posts right before you send the DM. It puts your face in the notifications twice, okay? And so they'll see that. And then here I've got a checklist you can use, and you can just check mark these off. These are the things that you should do first, okay? Like I said, have a listen to at least one full episode, if not a few episodes. You don't have to listen for hours. You can just listen to a few minutes of a few podcasts and then maybe one all the way through. Niche down, okay? I am pitching a specific topic, an example like shadow work for entrepreneurs rather than just a tarot reading. Digital storefront, does my Instagram website look professional, or your link tree, your tarot biz page on our website, and clearly state what I do in the first 5 seconds. You want them to hit that and they instantly know who you are and what you do. The listener win. Have I clearly stated exactly how the audience will benefit from hearing me speak? The proof of life. Do I have at least one link ready that shows me speaking or testimonials from happy clients? And then here's the big one that I really want everybody to get is the tech specs, especially for podcasts. Do I have a decent microphone or a podcasting headset with microphone built in and a quiet place to record? That's really important. Hosts love when a guest sounds good. Okay. So you want to be prepared to go live, your camera, your microphone. Obviously, if it's just audio, you're going to do the headset with the microphone. If you're doing a video podcast, YouTube show, you want to have all the technology and you want to test it out beforehand. So remember, rejection is redirection. So if a host says no or doesn't reply, it's rarely about your skill as a reader. It's usually about timing or current, content season that the host is in or something like that. So try again. And like I said, try to aim for 5 pitches a week. It's a numbers game. You can do 2 or 3, 5, 10, as many as you want, but in February, try to do at least 5 a week and see if you can get yourself booked on some podcasts. And try out different theme ideas. So like if you're sending out these pitches and you're not getting response, change the theme ideas, the theme examples that you're pitching to them. Try something different. Handling skepticism, the tarot skeptic objection. So sometimes a host might say, I love the idea, but my audience is a bit more logical or science-based. So you can use these pivot phrases to bridge the gap. So for instance, isn't it just fortune telling? And you could say something like, actually, I use the cards as a psychological mirror and a tool for self-reflection, not for predicting the lottery or something like that. Objection. My show is for CEOs and logic types. Perfect. I focus on intuitive decision making and using archetypes to bypass the analytical brain and find creative solutions. Or something like, we don't do woo. I totally get that. Think of it as visual journaling. It's a framework for storytelling and identifying patterns in your lives. So, you can get AI to help you out and come up with a whole bunch of different pivot phrases that you can use to overcome objections. And then lastly, I'll leave this with you is You could also do a role play session where you get with some friends or colleagues, and they pretend to be a grumpy podcast host. And then you can practice winning them over. And so this way, you're not going into these discussions and negotiations with potential podcasters or blog owners cold. You've already had some practice doing this, so that's a great idea. Do some role playing. So there you go. There's the PDF that I made up. What does everybody think? Anybody have some tips or suggestions? Who's been on a podcast and how did you get on it? Pam, how'd you get on there? Or what podcasts?
There's been several. I would have to go back and look through my notes, but I did this. Well, the last time was when they released the Steel Wizard, and before that, it was the Eternal Seeker.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went through YouTube and I watched a bunch of just different presenters. Some of them were, and they used different decks and whatnot. And I just approached them like, I've been watching you, I watched this many of your cat podcast, and I really enjoyed your work. It's so on and so forth. I particularly liked the way that you presented this or that or the other. I'd made some personal comment to them. And yep. I think by the time the decks were actually released, and what I did, because I went through a publisher this time, which is kind of weird, but it's okay. I just had them mail the different decks to these different people. And oddly enough, this is so weird. When they started doing it, the lady that was my contact there at Red Feather, shipper, whatever you want to call them, she said, "Oh my goodness, we already have this person and that person and this person, but these are all new contacts for us. Thank you." So I said, "Oh, well, who did I miss?" And she wrote me back, "Nobody." So I guess it was pretty thorough, but that's what I did. I spent the better part of 2 weeks just listening to different people in their presentations, and what I liked, I might like just the way I don't want it too long. People's attention span don't have that half hour, 45 minutes most of the time. They want something in under 10. So that's what I was looking for, was people who could go through a deck. I don't want you to go card by card. There's too many of them, or there's not enough of them, or whatever. I wanted people that would be able to go through and do something like, this is how it works. This is how, this is what I see. This is how I'm going to present it. And a lot of them are still using those decks, which is great. I mean, I've done the same thing with the Wizard's Pets that I self-published. I just go through and I start watching, and I found some of them on X, some of them on Instagram. Mm-hmm. But my biggest supplier was YouTube. But I'll tell you, the people that I've contacted on X and Instagram, they also use YouTube, which is kind of the go-to anymore. And so far, so good. I mean, I've gotten a lot of response from people that, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know that this deck was available. I thought it was out of print," whatever. So yeah, but that was kind of what I did, and it worked out really, really well.
Awesome. Yeah. Bill,
anybody that's got a deck out there, that's one way that you can approach it to get it basically on the market, because even with the publisher, right, you are responsible for your own promotions, the end.
From getting promoted.
Or the way to get around it.
Yep. Before you came on, Bill was mentioning he still has all your original decks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I still have that. Yep. I use them too. I've got more decks than I would care to admit to, but there are some that are like my favorites. I kind of keep them at the top of the box, so to speak.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm assuming you've got this. Oh, stop it. This one.
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
Original version.
This is the original, and it's technically out of print. I think you can still get a few copies through one of my distributors, but for the most part, it's just, yeah. And they've replaced it. Dax, do you have it? No, you don't. I do. Never mind. This is the newest edition.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I got it up here on my shelf, but I got green screen going on.
You got the green screen going, so yeah.
Although I can get it.
And
Third
I like this.
edition.
I like this one because I rewrote the book, and it pretty well
There's a turnip
covers
seed.
everything that I've learned and discovered about tarot in the last 25 to 30 years.
Wow.
So, but that's the reason I like the new edition. Other than that, I like them all. I like all three editions. I'm using the second edition right now, but that doesn't matter. The new one, the newer edition has no borders, and that's something
Is
else
that
that
a
you do.
sword? Is that a sword? Mini sword?
It's a bookmark.
Oh, see, I
It's
had
a
one of
bookmarker.
those. I had one of those
That's
for years. I got it when I was like, God, 12, 13 years old at Disneyland, Pirates of the Caribbean. I had to have that little sword, and I used it as a letter opener for decades.
yeah. I actually got stopped at the airport one time for having a when it was about the size of my baby finger. This small black man who's I got really excited, and I didn't know if he was speaking a different language or describing the atomic weight of cobalt, but he was just all freaked out because there was a weapon in my purse. And this lady comes rushing over. She was delightful. She's from Georgia. She's
Uh-huh.
delightful. And she says to me, "Oh my goodness, honey, come here." And so she takes me aside and she says, "Do you mind?" And I said, "No, I dumped it." And I said, "What is so dangerous here?" And she said, he's looking at this. I said, "That's a letter opener." And she said, "Put it in your pocket and let him scan your purse again." I said, "Okay." That was it. But I mean, he was so freaked out because there was a weapon in my
Well,
it's
I
cute.
remember we were flying home from I don't know if it was the Disney World Florida trip or it was Disneyland in California. We were flying back to Pennsylvania. I remember having to put that in my luggage so we could get on the plane.
That's my yeah. I
I
mean,
hid
the
it in
thing
my
was only
luggage.
dangerous to Jello and butter. There was
Yeah,
no way
and
on
this
earth
was
that
this
thing
was this was before 9/11 2001. This was like the 80s, and
yeah.
and even though it was the 80s, it's still like everybody was put that in your luggage, so it doesn't show up on the scanner when going in the cabin with you. It's going underneath the plane, so
Yeah, because you're going to hold up the plane
yeah,
with this tiny little, well, I guess
yeah.
possible, but I don't know.
Oh, but I wanted to make a couple of remarks on what you were just saying earlier about getting on podcasts. So, but the takeaway there is, I mean, you don't have to have a book or deck uh, to get on a podcast. What we've been talking about is come up with themes where you're solving a problem for the podcaster's audience. However, since it's been brought up, great job, Pamela. That is not a bad idea, folks. Yeah, a deck takes a long time, but you can nowadays, especially with AI's help, you can write a book really quickly, get it up on Create Space, and boom, you're a published author. And having a book that you can send a hard copy to the podcaster or the owner of the blog, and you're a published author. I mean, that is like a key into the door.
Yep.
It's I always call books expensive business cards.
Oh, they really are.
Yep. So give that a try. That might be one of your goals for 2026. If not, creating your own deck, which has become faster and easier. You could on Fiverr hire an illustrator and with publish on demand, some of these places, you can upload the artwork and have a working deck ready to publish and send out in like a month. It it's not like the old days when you're painting each of the 78 cards and it's taking you 5 years to and then getting them photographed, and then it's different nowadays. We have digital art. You can hire an artist if you have a theme idea, and just send them the examples of the cards, and bam, they can whip that out in a few weeks. My mind's blanking. I'm trying to remember. Keep thinking of Squarespace, but it's not Squarespace. I'm trying to remember the name of the um publish on demand. There's a few of them.
The
out there.
PODs, oh, there's
They'll
there's
do
Lulu,
decks.
there's now you got me going. Game crafters.
Game
They've
Crafter,
got
that's the one I was trying to
and
remember.
they've got an almost an infinite number of options now. You can have your deck printed in a tin box. You can get them like the ones I like. I like the magnetic closed box. I have from the first time I ran into one. And I guess you can get those now too, and get them in different sizes, jumbo to poker size, you name it. You can do this. But what I want to point out too is that the industry has been inundated with new decks, and some of them are really impressive. Some of them are well thought out. They're beautiful. Others, in my opinion, are a waste of ink and paper. But it just depends. I mean, there's something for everyone there, and there are people. Well, for instance, I would never. I hate to say this, but I would never own a Hello Kitty deck, and yet I know a lot of readers that love that.
They
deck
love it. They love it.
and just treasure it. And if theirs wears out, they're sad. They keep it, but they get another one. Um, I think I've always taken myself way too serious, or I did until the Wizard's Pets. But it just, to me, there wasn't a lot of thought that went into it. And some, well, like, yeah, but it's good for kids. But I don't know. I don't want to insult children. Children are far more intelligent than some people give them credit for. So I want them, if they're going to get a tarot deck, I want them to have something that they can grow with and learn with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be gory or scary, but it needs to be authentic. And that's my big snob thing there.
Well, and of course, I'm not saying to create a deck just to create a deck. You want to have a really good idea. You don't want random images. Be specific. Be specific with your God, my mind's just blanking.
Genre and with your theme.
But I'm
have
thinking,
it planned out in your head, start to finish. So
yeah,
you
but
know it's
I'm
going to be
thinking
like.
of in the images themselves, the icons. There's another word I'm
Symbolism.
Symbol. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
You're welcome.
I couldn't remember the word symbol. It's a senior moment, folks. Have your symbolism down, not just random stuff. Have a good theme that hasn't been done before. Look at what's out there. I know there's thousands of decks and it's hard, but trust me, there's enough variety in our world that you can come up with something that hasn't been done before.
Well, it's like Gina Thies. She did the Tarot of the Moors. It's up here somewhere. Of all the decks I've been given and reviewed over the years, one of hers, that one I kept. It is truly unique. It is truly beautiful. And the same with Annabelle Lynn. I mean, she's done 3 renditions of her Spirit Keepers Tarot, and every single one of them are unique in their own way. And with each rendition, you can see how much she improved as an artist. Oh my gosh, it's phenomenal. Yeah. But decks like that really they're so unique, but they're user friendly. They're so simple and easy to read. I mean, the more you study them, the deeper they go and everything else. But you need something that's going to catch people's attention, not the same old, same old. And they're all of them technically, theoretically, Rider-Waite based, but they've owned it. Is what it comes down to. They've owned it, and wow.
even somebody like Ciro Marchetti, when I look at his first decks and look at where he is now, you can see the progression.
Yes.
With the skills and abilities and understanding tarot and understanding decks and so forth like that. And because he was an illustrator, but not a tarot illustrator until he became one, and there was a learning curve, and you saw it in his artwork, and it just got better and better over time. Yeah. So I don't see any questions in the chat. Real quick, let me do the upcoming shows. So we have our new Tarot Tuesdays. So Tarot Tuesday, February 3rd, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then, by the way, I've been promoting how in February, how we were going to do our private members only Zoom calls, our Q&A coaching and coffee Zooms on Thursdays. And come to find out that I had scheduling conflicts and I had to move it to Friday. So the rest of the month it'll be on Thursday, but this Friday, February 6th, is when we'll have the Q&A coaching and coffee private Zoom call for members only. Of course, you'll find all the links and all of our upcoming events in the calendar on the New School community. And if you haven't joined yet, go to tarotbiz.com and click join. It'll take you over there. Next weekend, Saturday, February 7th, is Michelle's Mystic Corner, the power of your power name. She's going to be talking some numerology. And next Sunday, so a week from today, February 8th, how to market your tarot deck and book. I hope you can be here, Pam. We're going to need you for that one. In fact, you just gave a preview talking about today, how to market your.
Well, that's the tip of the iceberg too. You really want to get your stuff out there. The hardest
don't go into it now. Wait till next Sunday.
But believe it or not, I put up until about, I'm going to say 20, 25 years ago, I was incredibly shy. I wouldn't make eye contact or anything else. And the worst thing that could ever happen was somebody got me over that, because now I won't shut up. But then.
There you go. And then Tuesday, February 10th, another Tarot Tuesdays. And then we'll be on Thursdays for the Q&A and coaching by February 12th. So yeah, had to do some moving things around this week, but that's okay. Got a lot of stuff, a lot of doctor visits and friends coming into town and all this stuff, so it's like, okay, too many scheduling conflicts. So we'll see you on Tuesday. Want to give Charlotte and Bill an opportunity. You guys have been quiet. If there's anything you want to mention or chat about before we end the show, or questions or anything.
For me, it was a good introduction to the platform. I mean, I've been on a couple of them. I've not been very active on some of them, only because my time's somewhat limited. But I made it that was one of my New Year's resolutions this time. Was if I was going to get on this one, I was going to get on this one.
Yeah. Yep. And I've noticed that with a few people. You all know Bonnie Chevet, right? And Bonnie, I told her about it. She's been on all of our platforms, and I told her about the New School community platform, and she got on there, and oh my God, if she doesn't like and or comment on every post, and she's shown up on up here on camera like you guys for Tarot Tuesdays, and shown up for our private Q&A Zooms and everything. She's really going for it in 2026. She's just like you, Bill. It's like, well, this time if I'm going to be on the platform, I'm going to be active and doing stuff. Still, we've only gotten about half of our lifetime, let alone our, monthly annual members. We've only gotten half of our lifetime members on there. There's like 90 now.
Did you close down the other platform?
It's kind of still available if people need it. I kept it up on the server, but I discontinued was the software that creates it, that's over top of WordPress, because it was very, very expensive. Wow. School's much more affordable. Plus, I was constantly every week having to do plugin updates, and the upkeep on it was ridiculous. With School, they run it all, and we just use it. Yeah,
well, it seems like there's a lot of stuff on here. There's a lot of things.
Oh yeah, it's just awesome. We can do so much on there, and some of the other platforms we've had in the past, worked pretty good. But some of them were very expensive, difficult upkeep. Like Ning was very expensive, and getting more expensive. The one we were using, which was called Peepso, a community platform for on top of a WordPress site, that one was getting not getting expensive. It just was expensive, and I had paid for it for 2 years, and nobody was using it. But now that we've gotten on to school, people are starting to, participate a little bit more. Not as much as I'd like, but we'll work on that. But we've got about 47 people on there now, about half of our lifetime members. I want to get more of them on there. And I've been contacting them individually and saying, hey, you didn't get on. I sent you the free link. You didn't get on the platform yet, But hopefully in 2026, it'll grow. And I remember when we launched our first website, it was on the Ning platform, 2000, the very end of 2009. We went official 2010. And we had 500 people before we officially launched the website. There was 500 people on there, and everybody was chatting and, discussing topics and stuff. And it's just so weird nowadays where it's not the same, There was us and there was Eclectic. Remember Eclectic? The forum, and just really, really busy.
So
But
everything's going to be over here?
yeah, we've moved mostly everything already. We've moved my entire course. That was a lot of work.
Yeah.
The course is on there, so if you're one of our students, if you haven't gotten on the platform, let me know. I'll send you a link so you can get in free. If you're one of our lifetime members or students, you don't have to pay the $5 a month. I have the fear that some people have gone there and thought that they had to pay when they're lifetime members. It's like, no, it's free for you. You just gotta let me know so I can send you a link to get you in free. They've been trickling in, here and there. Like we finally got you on, onto the platform. Okay, well, I guess we'll say goodbye, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. And remember, the private Zoom is Friday afternoon, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And all those links are always, everything coming up is on our calendar on the school platform.
Yeah, that was a good plus right there. That was a big plus.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a regular calendar if you guys haven't seen it, folks. And then there'll be text, and times. And if you click on that, it opens a box and it has a description of the event and the image. And then the Zoom link is right there. You click the Zoom link, and join us on the Zoom. It's all right there on the calendar. The other big one I like is the maps. I can finally see where everybody is around the world. And yeah, we're international. We're all over the place.
That's cool.
It's very cool. I love the maps. That's probably my favorite thing on the whole on the whole platform. But I'm glad you guys were all able to join me, and especially Charlotte and Bill, we haven't seen in a while. And I'll see you guys, whoever can make it, on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.
All right. See ya. Good show.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.